Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, our wonderful listeners. We're so excited to bring you in on the closure of 2022 and the start of 2023.
What was your favorite part of 2022?
2022 was a wonderful time. We had a great time with our TikToks. We really enjoyed it. We had some wonderful fun. We spoke to people on our live chats. We did a lot of interesting things, had a lot of things on our podcast that we were really good. The unusual guests. I hope you all listened to them. And I'm hoping for the new year that we'll even have some better guests and more chats between you and I, which our audience seems to like.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Well, we should definitely talk about our goals for 2023 with Excuse My Grandma and also just like personal goals.
Right. I think we should start with what did we do for the new year? How did we close the season off and the year and start the new year? So I'll go first. Mine was really very uneventful.
But you wanted it to be uneventful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I decided
you had options and you purposely made it uneventful.
Yes. I decided I had seen a recipe last week
in the nail salon.
Well, in one of those
magazine.
One of those homemaking things that I thought sounded delicious, and I ripped it out. I should never have ripped it out. I probably ruined the poor man's magazine.
You could take a picture of it with your phone.
That's a good idea. That I'm going to do that. I don't plan on making another meal again, but this sounded so delicious. So I went to the supermarket and I bought all the ingredients, and I decided I really couldn't stand going to another long evening of forced gaiety, of which a bunch of 80 and 90-year-olds are kissing each other. It really didn't appeal to me.
But why is that any more forced than any other night?
Well, when I was younger and it was more fun, everybody was dancing, everybody was up, you had things to look forward to. Now, some of the people are not well that I really like a lot, and it's just an awful evening. By the time the evening's over, I'm sort of depressed. Oh. So I decided we had a very wonderful cocktail party we went to, and which we do every year. Even that was a little bit nostalgic because some people were there and some people were not.
That's
I really
so true.
liked.
Because if it was a regular party on a regular night, you would probably say that it's good, but you're comparing it to years past.
Exactly. And but it was very nice, and we did go, and everybody was festively dressed, and I don't know where everybody sort of went to different places. And I made a decision that I was making this dinner, and it was delicious. So Poppy and I heated it up when we came home from the cocktail party. I had a little caviar, a little Nova Scotia at this lady's home, and we toasted in the new year with some champagne with some friends, and then we came home, and it was delicious. I cooked it. I heated it up. We sat down, the two of us. And the funny thing is, the building next to us, we're on the beach, and they had fireworks. So as I was eating, there were beautiful fireworks in the sky.
I didn't see any.
Well, this was only at 8:30 at night. So somebody
Right.
must have gotten, I don't know if he got a license or something to set off some fireworks in front of his building. But so we watched it, or her, and we watched it from our kitchen. And then Poppy went to watch a ball game. And I came in and watched a French series that I've been watching, and I enjoyed it. And I went to bed at 11 o'clock. So that was my night. I didn't even wait to the ball to come down in Times Square. So let me hear about you. Your evening was much more fun because I know we started your night out getting dressed at 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, which still wasn't enough time for me to get ready. Even if I give myself 4 hours, which I don't, but if I did, I would still be late.
You rest in between. All of a sudden, you were lying in between getting dressed. You were lying on the bed.
I have to take a TikTok break.
I don't know
Snack
what that
break.
was. All of a sudden, you were decompressing, and you hadn't even finished putting your makeup on. So anyway, go ahead. Go tell the rest.
I was between a black dress and a red dress. Neither too fancy, but they were nice long dresses.
Very pretty.
And on TikTok, people were, because we posted a getting ready video, people were split on it, but I think going with the black dress was the move.
Yeah, I think it was a very pretty choice, and you had a lot of different destinations.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing was a dinner early. It was a 6:30 dinner with my friend from college and some of like one of her friends and her friend group. And then we went back to someone's boat, like someone who was at the dinner, and had a few drinks on there. Which,
well, that must have been beautiful because the night was beautiful.
well,
It
actually,
was very
like,
warm on Saturday night. So
technically I was like standing inside
oh,
the
really?
boat.
Oh, okay.
And then like, yeah, I don't know. And I didn't even really see.
Still no fireworks.
I don't even think there was really windows. Like,
Oh.
so I guess I could have been in any small room.
You could have been a hostage. Go ahead.
Yeah, I could have been shipped across the country and had no clue.
Okay.
But no, we weren't. We were docked. So
Okay.
and everyone on the boat played this game. It's called the finger game, I think. A cup, and everyone puts their finger on it.
Yeah.
And you say 3, 2, 1, and everyone takes their finger off. Whoever turn it is has to guess how many fingers will be left on the cup. So
Who
like,
cares?
there's nothing else to do.
This isn't even as good as spin the bottle when I was 12 years old.
the idea is whoever is the loser
Right.
has to drink what was in that
In the
cup.
cups.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a millennial game that I think they need to revise. It doesn't sound so fabulous
You
to
know,
me.
it's not every group who plays these games. Some groups are just a little fratty.
Yes,
And
this seems like a fratty group.
yeah.
Okay.
So we played that, and then I head over to my friend from preschool's house for a few minutes to meet up with her and her 2 friends, and then we went over to a party that was like larger. And that was definitely more festive. There, you know, champagne and decorations.
well,
and
that's the way the
music
New
and-
Year's supposed to
So I was
end.
happy
So
we could
you were
like
at the
end
right.
the year.
right.
I mean, that was really
That
it.
was
And then
good.
I was home at like 3
Oh no,
a.m.
Kimmy, you were home very late because I must have gotten up in the middle of the night to go get a glass of water in the kitchen, and I saw the lights on. So that was around 2:30, 20 or 3.
But by the way, like I was one of the first to leave, I think.
Oh, well, that's
And that's
late.
at 3 a.m.
Wow. All right. So then everybody
Like when
was
I
having
left at
fun.
3 a.m., people were like,
Still
"You're
dancing."
leaving already?" I was like, "This is way past my bedtime, and I need 10 hours of sleep."
Okay, so well, that was a fun way to. That was a good New Year's. I like that
Yeah,
New Year's.
it was
Any New Year's resolutions that we need to talk about now?
I want to talk about them because I feel like I didn't sit down and like actually manifest anything this year. But I know that I have goals.
All right. Well, my goal is that I have to start really walking 2 miles a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I think not fast walking. I could just walk
Or like
from here.
cumulatively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can walk around the apartment. Count that. I think I'm going to get
You
one
can
of
walk
those.
to the fridge.
Right.
You can get a snack.
I
you
can
walk
walk
back
to
in
the.
your
I can
room.
walk to the corner drugstore,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'm not doing enough walking. I've
Okay.
noticed that. I've seen that. When I'm in New York all the time, I walk much more than down here. This is a little bit too much car driving.
But that's
business.
funny because I feel like down here I walk way more because like it's warm out and I feel like happier walking outside and like everything is so close to each other. But in the city, I would, if I'm going from place to place and things are in different neighborhoods, I would have to leave like an hour to walk to each thing, and that's harder.
Well, I sort of like that, and I know that I walk much more in New York.
Yeah.
So it's just a different habit that you get into. I'm not fast walking, but I've decided that's definitely going to be one of my goals.
Okay.
And then I think another goal is to start reaching out to some old friends that I haven't seen in a while, because I've noticed that I've become very insular in my friends. It's the same 3 or 4 people, and I think I need to reach out to some people who I even went to high school with that I haven't spoken to in a long time and see how they're doing, because I'm getting very nostalgic all of a sudden. I think, and those were wonderful times, and I really don't know where they are in their lives, and I'd like to catch up with them.
Oh, so it's people you literally never see.
Well, it's right. They basically still live where I grew up. So a lot of people never left the community.
Okay. So how do you even know? Because obviously,
Well,
there's
I know
no
they
social
still live
media.
there. I know they
Okay,
still
okay.
live there. I've gotten word through other people that
Yeah.
touch base with me occasionally. So that's definitely going to be a goal that I have.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and
But I also feel like you do have more than 3 friends. Like I see you all the time with.
No, but I mean people that I really were important in my
Yeah,
life.
right.
I mean, who you're sitting with and having a cocktail with occasionally down, in this la la land down here, it doesn't count as real true friends.
Sure.
So I think that's going to be a goal.
But sometimes also not like I feel sometimes nostalgic for certain friends that I had, even I was like, this is my really good friend, like in middle school or high school or even college, that I'm not close to anymore. But then I'm also like, well, I'm probably not close to them for a reason.
Well, I think what happens, Kim, and this happened to me, that's why I'm saying this. I think when you get married or whatever, or have a family, whether you're married or not, you have different interests, and the interests take you into different circles. And therefore, it generates around your children. Then it generates around your grandchildren. Not that many people have a granddaughter who works with her grandmother. So that has taken me into a different direction. And I've sort of, for the last couple of years, especially since COVID, we're talking about the last 3 years, we went into a cocoon, and now I feel like the cocoon has to come out. You have to break through, and with starting to travel again, which we did, starting over the summer. I really feel that the down times are finished as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to waste any more time not speaking to people who really matter to me. So I think that's going to be a definite effort that I have to make. And I don't know, I was thinking about, I think you have to think about more about the community at large. It's been very upsetting to me about the anti-Semitism that I've heard about on college campuses. I read a wonderful editorial this morning by Ronald Lauder, who is he's just an amazing man who's doing the most for getting rid of anti-Semitism, hopefully, and speaking out. And I think the universities, especially the Ivy Leagues, have got to do a better job and stop it before it festers. And listen, there's nowhere on earth that especially the Jews thought they were so wonderfully taken care of as in Germany. And by 1933, that was the end of their liberties. And you don't want to see that happening here, because if it happens to one minority, it can happen to other minorities. And I think people have to stand up for what's right. Yeah, and I think I'm going to do a little more aggressive speaking about that in the podcast to come, and talking to young people that we speak to. I'm agitated about it. I don't want people to be, just think they're going to college and, it'll pass. It doesn't go into the workplace. All the bad things start very, very young, continue, and then go forth into your mature life. And you want to stop it before it gets too really evil in our society.
I have multiple thoughts about all of that. I'll see which ones I even remember by the end. But one is, I saw a speaker at like a charity thing the other day who was saying that with anti-Semitism, you used to kind of think like, it's something that exists. I know it's there in the world, but like maybe people, like you imagine, there's a group behind closed doors in underground society who are all talking about, Jews have X, Y, Z. But now people say it straight to your face. Right. Well, and that's the difference.
Well, there is a big difference because they've gotten away with it, and they're spreading lies on social media and in their classrooms about, things that are really, really they're anti anything. They're anti what you have to stop picking on the lesser people who really don't have the ability to speak out. Yeah. And I think we have a platform, and we're going to start speaking out. We have to stop the Kanye Wests of the world from spewing that kind of hatred across the country and across the world. And they have millions and millions of followers. We have to put a stop to them, as well as people who are anti anything. We have to get behind the good in society.
That was my third point.
Okay, good.
Exactly. Just that, like, I know it's probably easier, at least I feel for myself, to like speak to, I'm seeing hatred toward my own group, but like, of course I see hatred to other groups too. It's just like, how many things can you speak out about? But I think we have to just, with any injustices, be supportive of getting rid of any of that.
Listen, I'm still aggravated about what Americans did to the indigenous people, and I had nothing to do with any of that. Right. My ancestors did not come over here with with the in the 1500s, the 1600s to settle Plymouth Rock in 1620. So, but I feel that's an injustice towards them is an injustice towards me, and I think we're going to have to start speaking up, or our country will not be the better for it.
Why is there like a assumption or stereotype that like a lot of people of the older generation like kind of don't care about those things?
Well, no, I think that's not true. I think people do care in every generation, but people have been scared to speak out for various reasons, whether it be because of their job or losing their position, perhaps in authority. They haven't really stood by the convictions that they should have, and I think we have to start teaching more ethics in our schools about what's really right in the world and stand by it. And those who are in positions of power, like our president, who hopefully will eventually speak out on some of these issues, which he hasn't. And also presidents across the globe, not only our president, they have to all speak out on their individual injustices that are taking place in their countries. And there are so many of them, down from the Afghan ridiculous thing that the girls after sixth grade can't go to school. I mean, what kind of nonsense is this, that we fought and lost so many lives and spent 20 years in Afghanistan as Americans and lost precious blood, and now just what we were fighting for and we thought we had turned a corner is right back where we started. And that's terrible. And we have to start speaking out about that. It's wrong. We have to speak out about what's going on in the Ukraine. I mean, for the New Year's, they blasted these cities, and all these poor people in the freezing cold are either dead or have no place to have a refuge. And it's just terrible. I mean, as citizens of the world, and I think that's the answer. We are citizens of the world. It's one world. It's no longer individual countries that are isolated, especially since social media is so prevalent, and revolutions can start over the phone. And we've seen that in Iran, and we've seen it in other places that students are agitating for good. And I think we have to back them. I think we have to just speak out. We can't sit home and be complacent and order in from Domino's. We have to really become out there and really.
And I'm like, we're all guilty of doing that.
Absolutely.
A bit, so.
Well, absolutely, and that's why I'm thinking in our podcasts and other podcasts that are coming about. I know they're speaking about it. That we have to really unite for the good of all mankind.
Yeah,
that's our 2023 mission.
I think that's like a really large mission. So finding like small ways to do that is probably like.
Well, we can do it through our podcast,
and it's different for everyone.
Right, and it's different for everyone, but everybody can send out a tweet that's constructive, not destructive. Do something good. Don't criticize your neighbor for putting out a yellow flower in his garden instead of a pink flower. I mean, say, oh, that's pretty. Let's be kind to one another. I mean, I think that's a very important thing. Kindness in this world should start, becoming more prevalent. I don't want to hear so many negative thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like there can be a lot of negativity in our family and friends, just like comments that we make. I'm guilty of that too. I don't know.
No,
I guess it's
not.
like a
no,
goal.
You're not. I don't think so.
It depends who I'm with.
Oh, I don't think we're negative. I think people should stop talking about people's body images, should stop talking about their unless they need help on their relationships. Let each person attend to their own business. Don't get your nose into everybody's business. I think that's.
But you get your nose into my business, but I'm also like asking for advice and
I do tell you something when you ask, because if you really followed my advice, your life might have been very different. I wanted you to go to law school. I thought you were my honor student who graduated from an Ivy League,
that's the thing, like,
but that was my advice, but that wasn't your path. So I have to respect your path, and I have, and you've been successful in what you're doing, and I'm proud of that. So I think, yes, older generations do suggest to their children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, certain ideas that they might wish you would fulfill, but that's still your wish.
Yeah,
you have
that's
to.
the thing. You can't take everything as Bible.
Correct.
Like, it has, but that's like why it's hard on the individual, because you have to have your own responsibility to pick and choose what advice you want to take. And that's something that like I feel like I could be better at too, because sometimes I'm like, if you or mom says something to me, like that is truth. But like, no, I have to still decide what my own truths are.
Correct. But listen to what your parents and perhaps your grandparents say. Listen to it, put it in the back of your mind,
Right.
but then go ahead with your own evaluation of the situation. That's
Yeah,
I mean, you're everybody of your generation is smart enough to decipher what's best for them, hopefully. And, but they can ask for advice, and advice is always good. Everybody needs a little bit of advice.
Yeah, everyone needs a little bit of advice from Grandma Gail.
Oh, yeah, from
especially.
Grandma Gail
Yeah.
especially.
So, yeah, I feel like in 2023, I definitely want to grow Excuse My Grandma more, put out more fun videos. I'd love to, like, interact with our followers more to see, like, what they actually want to see and kind of get more, I don't know, like, videos that we make more religiously over and over again that we know that people enjoy, and bigger podcast guests, as you said, go on other people's podcasts. I don't know. I feel like this year I definitely want to do a lot with work, and then also a lot with like finding a good, fulfilling romantic relationship, because clearly that's been a goal the last few years, and we're gonna.
Well, you can't force that. That comes about when it happens. So, I mean, we joke a lot about Kimberly's dates, but she has a very good head on her shoulder, and when you find the right person, you will be in love and go forward. But up until then, we're having a very good time with
Yeah,
it.
and I want to squash the misconception and stigma, not just for me, but for everyone who's like, wait, they're so beautiful and cool and nice. Like, why are they single?
Right.
Like, no, that you don't, it's not like I can't find anyone to settle down with me. Actually, everyone minus one or two people have wanted to date me. It's me finding someone that I feel like is my level. And I think everyone should kind of have that, not my level, sorry, like someone I connect with on that level. So I feel that like that's what everyone's mindset should just be about. It's not like, oh, why am I single? It's like, you are single by choice.
Yeah, and I think everybody reaches a point in their lives when now something clicks. I mean, you talk to people. I was with somebody yesterday having lunch who said they had dated for like 8 years together, and they did not live together. They were in different, actually different. One was in Mexico, one was in Houston, and they would see each other periodically, and then but they knew, they wrote letters, which was very interesting. I don't think, I said even to them, I said, who writes a letter today? I don't think anybody. But it was they kept the letters, and they still have them, and they read them, and they had a relationship. I think everybody finds a relationship when they're ready for it.
Well, I saw a TikTok literally yesterday that said men settle down with the woman that's in front of them at the right time.
Yes, I
so
agree
like
with that.
It could have been like, you could have been, it might not even be their soulmate or their greatest love in their life, but when they
Right.
have made their decision that, oh, I'm ready to settle down and be married, whoever that woman who was in front of them at that time they're dating, that's when they'll settle
And
down.
I think the same goes for women. I don't think there's any difference because I remember in the Stone Ages when I was dating, all of a sudden you wake up one day and you say, all right, that's it, I'm getting married. And if somebody came in front of me that exactly what you're saying, that had the qualifications that would, for me, would be a good partner, that was the decision made, and that was it. So I think everybody has timing. Everybody has a little different timing, and that for the 2023, everybody just look forward to a wonderful year, and make your relationships count. Though, be kind to your partner, be kind to your friends, do all the things that you would like to have done to you. Do it to others. That's my advice for the new year.
We are excited to spend the next year with all of you, making videos and podcasts for you, and hopefully maybe some events to meet you in person by the end of 2023.
Yeah, Yes, Kimmy, I have to say one thing. We've got fans that come up to us all the time. Now I have to wear makeup not only for you, but I have to wear makeup because everybody wants to take a selfie. So it's so funny, but we love it, and we appreciate all our fans who really approach us and continue listening to us and watching us, and we're very excited to have such a broad spectrum of people who do watch us.
Yes. Another great episode of Excuse My Grandma, the first of 2023.
Yay for us.
Yay for us. Okay, you know how to follow us. TikTok, Instagram, we are at Excuse My Grandma. Tell your friends about the podcast, and we will see you next week.
Bye.